More breaking news. An SUV crashed into a barbecue shop here in Benson. Take a look at that damage. It damaged actually a vital piece of equipment, a barbecue smoker. And that happened just off of Northwest Radio Highway at Heartland Barbecue. And they have seen their fair share of calls. The owner tells us speeding plays a major factor in crashes just like this one.
It's terrible. I honestly think they need to fix it. I know they just put brand new lights up here. It's terrible. People drive here 50, 60 miles an hour. We have a high school, junior high school, and it's scary. You know, kids walk up and down the street and they drive pretty fast. So I think something needs to be changed.
Definitely sounds like something needs to be changed. Well, the owner says 2 weeks ago, another car came close to hitting their smoker, but struck a pole instead. She hopes this doesn't shut down production since the smoker is the basis of the business. Fortunately, the people in the SUV were not hurt.